Hey guys, welcome back to the Heartwork podcast. This is a change of scene. I am in the office making calls for real estate, but I really wanted to get some content out there this Thursday. So I came here and I decided, you know what, we're going to record this quick podcast and get it out there by tomorrow or Friday. This podcast actually took me two tries. This is my third time doing it, so I guess 3 tries. The first 2 times that I did it on Monday, and I was having such an awful day. I just feel like I needed to redo it because even though it is good to share your off days, I feel like it transmits that energy off, and I want you guys to get a good message out of it. The whole point is to work on yourself, and that's why it's called the Heartwork podcast. And if I'm not giving a positive message through the hard times and I'm just having the hard day, then I don't feel like the message is really coming off the way I want it to. So the topic of today's podcast is going to be how to navigate through your emotions when you allow somebody to affect them. And initially it was going to be don't allow other people to affect your energy. But what I've realized is that it is inevitable. Some days things will affect you, especially if you're still in your 20s. You know, you're just starting to become an adult. You're just going into your adult life, and things are gonna happen. People are gonna piss you off one day, or they're gonna make you sad, or they're gonna make you really uncomfortable or disappointed, or whatever the case is. But here's like just a way that I was able to navigate through my emotions from Friday when I had a rut, like a little just out of whack day. I had woken up, I was having a great morning, meditated, journaled, went to the gym, normal fucking shit, right? And on my way back home, I really came home to just kind of change and go right into work. But I went on Instagram and I had seen something from somebody that I used to be connected to back in the day, like a couple months ago, that she posted in terms of like Instagram sometimes gives you like post this picture or you're gonna have a bad June, or post the last 6 pictures of the past 6 months. And that's what she did. She was posting the last 6 pictures of the past 6 months, and I was part of the last 6 months, so I was in there, but she blocked my face. And initially that I was chuckling because I was like, wow, like this is not what I wanted to come home and look at before I go into my shift. And it affected me. I don't even know why I allowed it to affect me, but I think it's because I genuinely really did care about those girls and that friendship that I had with them, and how sour it turned just because I felt really uncomfortable around one of them, which is the girl that I saw her post. And I allowed it to affect me the entire rest of my day. I was just feeling uncomfortable ever since, and I was like, wow, like she's probably not past that. And you know, you should be grateful for the last 6 months. I know obviously we don't connect anymore, but I'm grateful for it because it's learned to make me more aware of my emotions around other people and acknowledging it and being able to set some boundaries. And you can tell when you can have certain conversations that are uncomfortable with certain people, and who's gonna actually take it like as constructive criticism and who's not. And I just felt like that wasn't one of those people, so I just kind of decided to take a little step back and keep her at an arm's length. And that's another thing that I wanted to say here, that when you allow other people to affect your energy, maybe take a step back, acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge how they make you feel, be self-aware, and then decide, is this somebody that I am going to give the power to affect my energy on the daily because we're close, or am I going to set a boundary, or am I going to keep them at an arm's length? And that is so important because that one thing affected me, and I carried it on from that Friday morning onto my Friday night shift at my job. And I have this coworker who I am very close to, I love very dearly, and I had a rut. I got into a little scuffle with him too, and I had to talk it out because that is one person that I know if we have an uncomfortable conversation, we're going to be able to get past it. And you can feel it, like you know who's going to be open to that type of conversation and who's not. So with him, it was easy to be able to talk to and express my feelings. Obviously, it didn't happen right away, and I want you guys to know that, like, when I was feeling like this, all these emotions were just riling me up. Like, I was just feeling every single emotion. I was just like all I did was just get right into work, and I wanted to go home and just sleep. I didn't journal when I got home. I didn't meditate, which is what you should be doing. What I did is just I allowed them to take over, and then I went to bed. Over the weekend, I was stuck at work. I was doing things for my own job for real estate, and I didn't really think about it. It really didn't come to my head. I was having a great time, and then Monday comes along, and I knew I had to go to work, so I was dreading it because I hadn't talked to my coworker since. But I realized, like, this is somebody I love, and I have to have this conversation with him. And before I just went and, talked about my emotions, I wanted it to make sense, and I wanted him to know that it was a constructive criticism type of conversation. So Monday, I still didn't even talk to him about it. And Monday, I had woken up so late. I didn't do any of the things that I normally do. I wasn't on top of my meditation or my journaling. I didn't wake up on time. I usually like to wake up early. I woke up at 12, and I didn't go to the gym. I literally went home and I tried to redo the podcast because I had done it on Monday afternoon when I woke up. And I was like, if there's one thing I'm going to get done today, it's just this podcast. And because I felt my energy just so heavy and so sad and so like out of it, I was like, I'm not posting this. Like this, I'm just blabbing about the situation that was going on and getting into too much detail about it. And I don't want to. I want to give off a good message. So once I went to work Monday, obviously I was just still kind of quiet and in my head and kind of asking myself, like, why am I feeling like this? Why is this affecting me so much? Why am I allowing it to affect me this much? What purpose is it serving me? What is it trying to teach me? Every hard moment is building character. It's teaching you something. So I want you to pay mostly attention to the tough times that you have, because those are the tough times that are going to make you build character. On the hard days, you learn something new about yourself. You start to see yourself in a different light, whether it's positive or negative, but this way you're becoming more self-aware of everything that is going on. And then another thing was I hadn't journaled, I hadn't meditated, so I hadn't processed any of the thoughts that I was having into paper. And like me and Christine said, once you start journaling in the beginning, you're like, I don't know what to write. But once you start doing it, you start to really realize, like, okay, this is a lot. This is all that's going on in my head. And I'm saying feelings that I didn't even think I felt up until you start putting everything on paper. And then it's like a giant bubble full of like just so many words, and then as you're writing them, it's like starts to go down and down and down and down, and you're opening up more space for other feelings. So that's how you initially start to realize, like, okay, I'm coming to terms with what I feel right now. And that was the case on Tuesday morning. I finally got out of the rut. I woke up early, and I told myself that on Monday night. I was like, tomorrow I have to wake up and I have to give myself 100%. I have to go 10 times harder, because I've just been feeling so I felt like this Friday, I felt like this Monday. I can't allow it to happen again on Tuesday morning. And I didn't want it to drag. That's one thing I want you to take. Don't let your emotions drag on and on and on. Just do something different. I wasn't doing anything different from Friday till Monday. I didn't journal about it. I didn't really dedicate much time to meditating, and meditating is just a moment for me to ground myself and to allow myself to listen to all the thoughts going on in my head and be able to just say, wow, that's an interesting way of looking at things. And that's what you should be saying to yourself whenever you feel your negative self-talk coming in, or any of your negative subconscious thoughts. Just say, what an interesting way of looking at things, and then drop it. Let it go. Let it just fly by. It's just another thought. Don't give too much emotion to your thought. And that's what I was doing. I was allowing it to just, like, it was an infestation of bad energy, bad thoughts. So moving forward, Tuesday, woke up, I meditated, went to the gym, journaled, and once I journaled, I was like, I need to reach out to my therapist. So that's one tip on how to navigate. aside from journaling and aside from meditating, talk to somebody. If it's your homeboy, your homegirl, your therapist, somebody that you trust and that you can confide in when it comes to talking about uncomfortable feelings, I suggest definitely go out and talk to them. It's just a good way to be able to hear advice, to hear a different point of view, to take it into consideration, be open to that, and then really ask yourself the same questions and be like, how does this take some, like, how does the advice that I just received affect me? Like, how can I change the way that I was just thinking by applying the advice that I just received? And this way you are able to put yourself in a different perspective of that situation and see, okay, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings with the emotions I feel, or I don't want to feel other people's negative emotions with how I feel. Always another thing, say good affirmations to yourself. You know, maybe the everything is always working out in my favor might not work for you. I know I always have those as well in my sticky notes on the front of my, or in the, like, my head, right when I fall asleep. It's right on top of my bed head, like the wall against my bed. And when I wake up, I say, oh, everything is always working out in my favor. The universe is guiding me and protecting me. But sometimes when you're going through tough times, that might not feel like everything is actually working out in your favor. You just feel like in a rut. So maybe make those affirmations instead of out in the universe. Say them about yourself. I am always working towards success. I am moving in a direction of self-healing, whatever it looks like right now. I know that it's going to benefit me later on. I am constantly building and constructing my new reality, and everything that I deserve is going to meet me, and it's going to, I will eventually get there. I will get that. I will get everything that I deserve because I am working so hard on myself. When you base it on yourself, you realize how much work you're putting in, and you stay accountable of everything that I'm working for, I am going to get because of all the hard work I'm putting in. So yeah, I want you guys to know that tough times definitely build character. Eventually that Tuesday I went in and I worked with my coworker, my favorite work coworker, and I was talking to him about my feelings. And like I said, you just know certain people will take constructive criticism and work through whatever happens, because they love you and they don't want to hurt you, and I'm sure you don't want to hurt them. It's just tough times, you know. We're not perfect. We're gonna have those tough times, and this is one of them for me. Like, doing this podcast in a different place and not having the same setup, not having the microphone, it's just one of those building character kind of days. And I want you guys to get this message, so I needed to post tomorrow or Friday, and I want you guys to be able to always come to these videos for any sort of advice. Take everything, like I said, that even I say, with a grain of salt, and apply it to yourself if it feels right. If it doesn't, seek help or journal or meditate. I realized that me ignoring those things was so crucial, because it is a big part of my routine, and avoiding it is avoiding ways for me to work through my emotions when I'm feeling like this, especially when I allow people to affect them. And also, learn to keep people at an arm's length. Have some discernment with the people that you allow in your life. Don't tell everybody your business. Don't always just be a people pleaser. If you feel like certain people don't align with who you are, or you don't feel comfortable with the comments they make around you, absolutely, either if you feel like they are somebody worth fighting for, have a conversation. If not, just keep them at an arm's length and protect your energy. That is one thing you need to take from this. Protect your energy, and always make sure you feel in a safe spot with friends who you trust, with people who you tell your business to. And yes, folks, that is all I have for today. It is a short one, but I feel like it's good information to give off. And it's important to know that not every day is perfect. That's the whole point of me creating this podcast, because I want to share all of my lessons, all of my experiences with you guys, and I want you guys to take something from it. Just like I'm learning and going through this transformation, I want you guys to see, like, you know, not everything's perfect. And as I go through my 20s and into my more adulthood era, like, I will be able to navigate through things slowly, just like everybody else, you know. But I want you guys to know and see what I'm learning throughout my journey, and maybe it helps you too. I do want to put here, like, the pyramid that my therapist had sent me about my transformation, about anybody's transformation. It starts with feeling happy, creating peace. Then you're obviously going to forgive yourself or forgive others, take responsibility, and then become conscious of what you have surrounding yourself, and then question certain things, you know. And yes, always ask yourself questions during hard times as well. Just be able to answer those questions to yourself, whether it's, if you don't have a piece of paper around you, ask yourself those questions and answer them in your head. And always take a step back whenever you feel like you're being triggered by somebody. Always take a step back and just don't get too caught up in those emotions. They are not serving you any good. And always tell yourself that, like, when you feel triggered by something, why is this triggering me? Is there something that I haven't learned about myself that this is teaching me? Is there something that I haven't worked on myself that this is trying to teach me? It's always about you. And it's rarely about what other people do, you know. Even with the post that I saw on Instagram, it's rarely about what she feels or how she feels. It's how I allow her to make me feel. That didn't have to affect me. I could have just brushed it off, you know. It is what it is. You know, some people don't get past things as quick, or some people have a different way of dealing with emotions that you do, and not everyone has the same heart as you either. So just keep that in mind. Keep all these things in mind when you're having tough times, when you're being triggered by somebody, when you allow somebody to affect your energy. And yes, as you know, as you move on through life with a positive mindset, saying your affirmations, working on yourself, the less you will notice that other people's energy will affect you. It's just that they're having an off day, a bad day, and you can't allow it to affect you, and your energy and what you're working through, and what you have been doing for yourself. So yes, have a wonderful rest of your day. I don't know if I said my 2 affirmations, but I did share a couple. So I guess the 2 affirmations that I would choose for today is, I am constantly working hard on my success. And 2, I am building everything that I'm building towards is going to help me get closer to what I deserve and what I need. And my 2 points of gratitude would be, I am grateful for my job. I'm grateful to be here and to be able to make this video, instead of being at my serving position, you know, in Roots. And I wouldn't be able to have this done before the end of Wednesday. So I'm grateful for my job and being able to have the luxury to just sit back and create a podcast in the office. I am also grateful for life. It's shitty and rainy out, but it's a perfect time to call, and it's a perfect time to just kind of sit down, relax, and realize that we have rain. It hasn't rained in like a month. So life is beautiful. Life is great. Guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your body. It's definitely one thing that my middle school teacher always taught me, and it didn't make sense at the time, but now it does. You know, it just goes back to being able to acknowledge your feelings, be aware of yourself, have self-awareness, have self-positive talk, and keep at an arm's length, or keep people at a distance that don't help you have a positive outlook on life, or don't make you feel comfortable. Yes, that is it for today. Have a beautiful Wednesday, happy hump day, and hopefully you take something positive from this message. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for watching again.